Flight boss, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and responsibilities. Now, look, check this out, right? The moon is in Capricorn right now. So we all reacting and responding to, initiating and creating new ways of how to think and be practical towards being serious, boundaries, restrictions, and limits, distance and coldness where it don't need an extreme reaction and response, that water energy, due to the fact that things need to be more dry and cold wintertime, or however the case may be, aka the moon being in Capricorn. So, we are reacting and responding to being a little bit more sophisticated, or where we need boundaries, restrictions, and limits at. Now, here's the thing, the sun is in Leo, so that's an in conjunction energy. So for the most part, there may be a misunderstanding how to go about these things, where you may feel a budge or limited and restricted from expressing yourself in certain matters, because Leo represents fixed fire, being fixated on one's way of seeing and feeling about things. So when you start to express what you want to give attention to, or how you receive attention, or whatever, or what you choose to entertain, or whatever the case may be, you may feel limited in that area. You may feel a little blocked in that area during a little bit of today and tomorrow. All day today and a little bit of tomorrow, until the moon starts to transition into Aquarius, which we're going to break down and things of that nature. I'm going to go more in depth, but for the most part, when we start to talk about the moon being in Capricorn, reacting and responding to your status, how you're seen, what you're known for, or whatever the case may be, your way of going about it, and how you see and how you feel about it, and your way of expressing it, right? When you get ready to express it, and your way of thinking about it before it come out or before you do it, that may feel restricted a little bit due to the fact of people, places, and things, or whatever you have in front of you within internal energy that's in your mind, that you feel like that you're up against before you express that nature or that character or caricature in some way, shape, or form. So keep that in mind. You see what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. Due to the fact that you've been highly unproductive or attracting an unproductive individual, there may be a lot of frustrations or things that you may have to go through or fight against when it comes to people, places, and things, or family, friends, associates, or co-workers, or even strangers, to the point that, that we're in right now. And there may be certain obstacles that you may have to go through in order to create more seriousness and boundaries, restrictions, and limits, so you can feel more free to express yourself when it comes into your creativity or the things that you choose to entertain, or you want other people to be entertained by, when you start to give your attention span, energy, and focus span on it, or whatever the case may be. So whatever you choose to express yourself to allow other people to give attention or to entertain something, that's also the Leo energy, whether you're a Leo or not. You see what I'm saying? So, who's it? So right now, that was an instant deodorant, candlestick, things of that nature, YouTube and stuff like that. Maybe a little filter and stuff like that. I got off TikTok or Twitter or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. But look, like I said, so when we start talking about the energies of, the moon being in Capricorn is going to play out as a 150-degree angle when we start to go about these things, in order, based upon the sun being in Leo. In order for us to feel comfortable at this time, we in search for stability, or we are reevaluating our status. Anything that's negative about your status is something that you're going to recalibrate, come up with better decision-making qualities to go about or take action towards, in order to gain that comfortability in that area, because you may have blemishes or shade put on your status based upon your expertise, your goals, which you have participated yourself in, or, dealing with your family, or friends, or associates, or however the case may be, right? Your status, your position within these areas, right? Or what you're known for, or your goals. These are things that you're trying to reevaluate, and you're going to start to kind of compartmentalize within your mind people, places, and things that you may need to be more serious about, or start to create some more boundaries, or open up boundaries for, and things, and start to recalibrate these things, and look at the restrictions about it, see what restrictions that you may have, and then therefore you can recalibrate on how you get ready to express yourself, or how you go about entertaining something, or giving attention to something, or expressing yourself in such a manner that other people can start to give attention to it, whether it's yourself or what you want other people to entertain. So that's going to be the energies that we are experiencing due to this fact right now. Now here's the thing, how this is going to play out and how you may see it based upon people who are unproductive, or people that's lost in the ego or a bias. You're going to see people wanting attention, the sun and Leo, how things appear to be, because the moon is how we react and respond to things, right? So it's going to be what makes us feel comfortable, pardon me, right? But how we go about it and how we express it and how it's going to look is where the sun is at. So for the most part, as the moon being in Capricorn, people are reacting and responding to comfort zones of looking at their status, and making up ways of how they want other people to look at their status and what they're known for, how they're seen. So this is what you may see other people want attention for. People may want attention for what they have done, or want attention for their status, or their title, or what their position is when it comes into their relationship with you and their relationship with other individuals and things of that nature in their circle. right? Or even in business and things of that nature. People may be trying to get attention for what they're known for, how they're seen. And if a person is seen for some negative things or whatever the case may be, a person may try to get the attention for all the wrong reasons because that's the only way they can feel. You know what I'm saying? So even if they're being negative or whatever the case may be, and that's their status, they're going to be the most negative person. Or let's say it's a family member or friend or associate or coworker that y'all on negative terms or whatever the case may be, and even if it's something that they have done and it was their fault, they're gonna be like, well, I'm gonna be the best person at this then, or whatever the case may be. Person might not be in a situation of trying to change it and take it more serious than it necessarily needs to be, or whatever, until they experience a tower moment. And the moon in Capricorn may create those type of energies during this particular time also. You see what I'm saying? A person may go so extreme based upon wanting to be seen or get attention that they create a whole tower moment that has something to do with how they gain stability in their life, or structure in their life, or even affect their job or their position in some way, shape, or form. So individuals have to be very careful at this time to not be so expressive to want to be seen that can start to put shade on your practical life or things that you actually need to take serious. So keep that in mind also. Now, when it comes to two situations right now of us reacting and responding to stability and wanting to be secure or worrying about our status, a person may go extreme based upon getting all the attention and things of that nature that may not have anything to do with things that make sense, things that's practical. It's probably have nothing to do with money. So a person would crash out right now wanting to be seen a certain way that behind closed doors or was apparent and what everybody should be aware of, a person to be expressing themselves and not even making sense. It ain't got nothing to do with money. You know what I'm saying? It'll had them look like they're not a boss, they're lesser than. It'll had them putting more shade on what they're known for and how they're seen or their opportunities in their life. So it's a lot of these situations that's going on also if a person is highly unproductive, but they're still going to be reacting and responding to this energy that we are in, which is the moon in Capricorn, the sun in Leo. And a person to feel good, they're going to want what everybody else is reacting and responding to, some form of stability, some form of security, some form of safety, some form of shelter, you know what I'm saying, some form of discipline, boundaries, restrictions, and limits. But if they don't have that already, then their way of expressing themselves to go about getting it, this is going to be like a person that you ain't even thinking about, thinking that they're doing something to you to make you feel a certain way. Oh yeah, I'm gonna separate if you might be their family friend, associate, or coworker, they might be in some energy like, okay, I'm gonna separate my energy from this person so they can feel a certain way. You might not be thinking about them or even care about them, or be trying, or already currently trying to separate your energy in some way, shape, or form. So a lot of these things could take place right now due to the fact of a person trying to use their status, even if they're on a negative end, as a form to be seen a certain way to affect other individuals because that's their way of getting attention. So you'll be able to see that if you're around unproductive individuals. Now, if you're around productive individuals during this particular time, then you're going to be seeing people react and respond to trying to develop or obtain or initiate and create a new way of thinking and being practical about their own or other people's status, but mainly their own, and start to take solutions in that area and areas that they have to be more serious or create more boundaries, restrictions, and limits. They're willing to do that so they can now be seen in that light, so they can now be seen as that individual that we're all going to be in that expression of trying to fixate a way of seeing and feeling about something. So a person is going to try to pick how they want to be seen right now, or pick how they want to react and respond to things, or how they want other people to feel about something, and it's going to be back to supported by things that's more practical, or things that's dealing with stability, or things that's dealing with taking things more serious, or even money to a certain degree, or being or wanting to appear to be the boss of something now. You know what I'm saying? So they're not in a situation of being looked down upon or being a person that look like they're incapable of taking care of their situation. So a person is willing to create boundaries, restrictions, and limits so they can be seen a certain way. Boundaries, restrictions, and limits, Capricorn, to be seen a certain way, the sun and Leo at the moment. So they can feel more comfortable, moon in Capricorn, with that stability or that security or that discipline. So keep that in mind also. So this is a time where people is going to be about that money, but if a person or about their status and taking that more serious, even if it's a goofy individual, they're going to take their goofiness more serious and not just be goofy for the sake of being goofy, that lead into situations of feeling vulnerable or uncomfortable or whatever. They're going to be like, oh, I just need to be goofy around people I can trust now or whatever. Those situations start playing out if you're a goofy individual or whatever. You're going to start to be aware of that you're being goofy in the wrong places in your life, or being goofy around the wrong individuals or whatever, or not even know that you was being goofy until these situations play out. So that hardship or that trial and tribulation a lot of times start to play out when we start to talk about the moon being in Capricorn. A lot of times boundaries, restrictions, and limits, and comfort zones that made us feel comfortable get taken away, so we can understand where to place new boundaries, restrictions, and limits, and develop new comfort zones. Remember, right, for something to become comfortable, it started off as uncomfortable. For something to become familiar with that Cancer energy, it started off as unfamiliar, and it needed to be substantiated so it could be built upon, so we could start to see where the comfort zone inside this building Capricorn is at or whatever. And a lot of times when a person can't find that comfort zone or satisfaction, they go too hard for the building that they're in, and what was actually could have been something grounded and positive, it become negative in a tower moment or whatever the case may be, by being too hard. And no one wants to be in that building, and that person don't even want to be in that own building themselves or whatever. So they actually become self-destructive, and that could become a circumstance at this time too. So be aware of these things, right? But we're gonna go more in depth tomorrow. But I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Flavor deep, for sure. You're not listening to the mind of an Antares moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. God damn it, erector squat, hip, hold that yellow hoop, Massasoit, Mama the toy, Masasaki, Masasaki.